On today's show, I've got kaijus, and more kaijus. Mike has more rabies to share with us. And Pat's got the exclusives on collectibles that you're going to want to see. Welcome to your favorite live streaming. Yeah, and that's it. Show Comics and Collectibles in the Crawl Space by Xcellar Comics. I am your fourth or fifth favorite podcasting host, Kevin. And we've got all the regulars in the room. First up is Patrick.
Good morning.
Good morning. And then next, we've got the guy with the rabies and the plan, Mike.
Hey, good morning, guys. Trying to think something.
Well, you know, it was funny because I chuckled when I said it to myself the second time.
Yeah. You know what? I was just thinking, I like the fact that you do the introduction because then you can make the first mistake and all the pressure is off of Pat and I.
Right. That is true. But lastly, too, I'm not forgetting. We also have Karen in background production here. Awesome. So first thing, I don't know whether you were talking about me saying live streaming and then pausing and stuff. That was intentional, Mike. If that's what you're talking about, that was my mistake. That was intentional because I just got a couple things that, you know, we were the live streaming Whatnotting podcast, and Whatnot's kind of on sabbatical still. So I feel uncomfortable trying to sell that. People be like, what Whatnot? You haven't been on a Whatnot show in over a month or over 2 months, maybe. I don't know exactly, but it's been a while. But I still have the account and I still get messages through it. So it's not gone forever. But then also with the podcast part, So Spotify. So first of all, it was Anchor. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anchor by Spotify. Anchor spelled just like the ship's anchor. Anchored by Spotify. And then they changed their name to Spotify for Podcasters, which was fine. That's what basically all it was a name change. Everything still worked the same. But then they changed it to where it's a completely different platform through Spotify. Like, even though it was Spotify for podcasters, I was still able to use the Anchor platform and the workings and all the editing, you know, software and stuff like that. But then during our break, that went away completely as well. Now you have to do everything through Spotify. Like, I actually had to link my Spotify account through it and then make the edits and everything through Spotify. And before we went on our 2-month break, there was a big scary notice every time I got on. Like, be prepared. Anchor's software is changing to Spotify software. Be prepared. And the whole time I'm like, okay, when it happens. But then it happened during our break. So then, of course, when I went to do our last show to set it up as a podcast, I had login. I'm still having login problems. It like keeps, when I try to log in, it just sends me to my Spotify account rather than any kind of podcasting software. And I completely don't have any control of any of our shows, our old shows or anything, right? So it's a total mess. So I'm still trying to figure it out when I have time, which time is definitely in short supply right now. But just to let you all know and everyone else know, that's why there's no podcast of the last live stream. Hopefully I'll get it figured out this week, and then I'll retroactively go and change the other live stream into a podcast as well once I figure it out. But essentially, we have no podcast right now, so we're just a live stream.
I was just joking about the mistake too. I didn't mean to do that.
Oh, okay, I thought you were thinking that was actually a mistake. Oh, hey, Mom. Hey, love you, Mom. She loves you too, Pat.
Oh.
She said she loves you all, so that includes you, Pat.
Thank you.
Anyway, I didn't call out Mike because Mike knows. But anyway, okay, enough of the jibber jabber. Sorry. I just wanted to clarify that for people.
Yep.
All right, back to a regular show. It's like no one cares, but I feel compelled to tell people stuff they don't care about. Okay, cool. All right. So how you guys doing?
Good.
Why are you in like a dark universe there, Mike?
Well, I normally sit here,
Uh-huh.
which means my background's over there. But my mother-in-law is rearranging down here because I'm in her kitchen.
Okay.
And she moved a shelf full of food, like it's on a wheeled shelf thing.
Into
like
your
a
spot.
Pantry thing is back there, and then there's like boxes. So it's a work in progress over here. So I set up this morning, I'm like, here we go. Wait, what is that mess? So I switched, and now that's the living room. And
Well, I'm going to be the first to vote that I actually like that background. Do you like that, Pat? He looks cool, right?
Yeah, it's like mysterious, like the Bat Cave.
And you can see him completely clearly. Like there's no light glare or anything. It's like perfect.
Karen said it looked like there was somebody standing in the shadows behind me. Thanks, Karen. Didn't scare me.
All right, cool. You guys ready to get rolling then?
Yeah.
All right, starting with me. All right, it is starting with me. Okay, cool. There it is. Man, this is going to be a whole new adjustment. How many years we've been at this now? And now we're in an every other week kind of thing, which makes me forget everything I did 2 weeks ago every time.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Mike looks good. Yep. I agree. All right, cool. Let me start off with this. This is a recommendation from my good friend Mike. And speaking of, here he is in a dark room. I watched Dark Matter on Apple TV. Sorry, Pat. I know you haven't seen this. We need to get you an Apple TV account. Mike, did you see all of where are you at on Dark Matter since you recommended it to me?
Yeah, episode 6.
Episode 6. And what do you think?
I love it.
Love it?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's awesome. Emily and I we enjoy it. I actually told Eric, and I told him like 2 weeks ago, and he binged the whole thing. He's already done. And he started Silo too.
Started what too?
Silo.
Oh, Silo.
Yeah. But yeah, I like this a lot. It was very different. You seem surprised that I love it so much.
Okay, so I completely 100% agree with you. So does Jesse. We watched this together for the first 3 episodes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 4 started to get wonky in a few ways. So first of all, this is again Dark Matter on Apple TV. This stars Jennifer Connelly. You can see there on the poster, and Joel Edgerton. You can see a million of him on the poster. I actually like this guy a lot too. He's from Pat Owen Lars from Obi-Wan Kenobi. And he's also in one of my favorite movies of all time, Warrior, which also stars, I think, Mad Max. What's the new Mad Max guy? But anyway, he's a great actor. I enjoy him, and I've loved Jennifer Connelly for most of my life. It feels like does that feel like the way it is with you guys? She's been around forever, right? Our entire existence.
Hasn't loved her. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, the poster kind of teases what this is kind of about with a million of Joe Edgerdons in there. Basically, he's a scientist that invents this box that lets you travel to every possibility there ever was in your life. Okay? And it's like literally every possibility, like not just like one possibility where you became the president, one possibility where you became a bum on the street, like every event possibility, like every decision you make in your life.
Yeah, it's like every fork in your road.
Yeah, cuts off a new branch. So
there's a new one, a new version of you is created.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's like, an infinite amount of these, and you're constantly creating more as you go. So he created this box to access all of those of you. So some of them are very similar to what you are. Like, like there might be a me that has a podcast that starts at 10 o'clock instead of 8 o'clock, but everything else is the same. It's like, right, Mike? Is that the way?
Yeah, up until that fork,
every subtle difference. Yeah.
Yeah. And then at different points in your life, you have different forks, and that's where the changes happen.
Right. So, basically the way this kicks off and what the whole show focuses on is one of his other himselves wants his choices. So he comes through the cube to him and forces them to switch places. So now we're focused on two of these guys, and one of them is in a world he wants to be in that he forced himself into because he regrets choices he made in the past. And the other one is forced into a world that he didn't choose to be a part of. That he basically replaced the other guy. So the one guy is just trying to adjust and pretend he's been here the whole time to the one world. And the other guy is trying to adjust, like trying to figure out the other world. And he's trying to tell people, hey, this isn't my world. And of course, everybody thinks he's crazy.
Because they all recognize him.
Yeah, they've all known him his entire life. And he's saying, this isn't my world.
And he knows these people, but he knows them in a different capacity.
Differently,
One friend is winning an award in his own timeline, but in this new one that he's in, he never won that award because it's just. And to throw it out there, this was written by Blake Crouch. He wrote the novel, and he also wrote the Wayward Pines books, which are probably top 5 stories of all time for me. So that's what drew me to this show.
Yeah, so it's very, to say the least, it's extremely interesting. And like I said, we enjoyed the first 3 episodes immensely, but then we both noticed a difference in the writing and the dialogue in episode 4. Like so much so we're both like shaking our head, like, how did this show that was great to us up at this point take such a turn to us? Like, and we didn't start hating it in episode 4. It was just so lackluster, to us. And I was like, you know what probably happened? They probably changed the writer and the director for that episode. You know how they'll do that in a series. They'll have different writers and directors for each episode. Sure enough, the first 3 episodes were by the same writer and director, which the writer is actually Blake Crouch. He's actually doing the kind
of the screenplay for it.
The screenplay for it, yeah. I think they call it teleplay, yeah. But he did the first 4 teleplays, and the first 3 were directed by one person, and then the 4th one was directed by a different person, and it had a completely different feel to us. And then the 5th one, Blake Crouch did not do the teleplay either. It was written by someone completely different, and directed by another person completely different. And then that's the same thing with episode 6, which is where I currently am. I didn't finish this yet. We're definitely going to, because like I said, we don't hate it, but we were absolutely like loving it. And it was just little things that, you know, things really need to make sense. And I'm sure you guys obviously can relate to this when you're following along with the story and you grasp onto a certain way people are. And then when they start to act out of character, that's the first, wait a second here, you know, and that kind of started happening a little bit. So basically that's I got one more question for you real quick, but I just want to give my overall review of this before I ask you that question, Mike. But you know, overall first 6 episodes, I'm going to give this a solid 6.5, 7 bags of popcorn.
I'm gonna take 7.
Okay,
because I like it so much. I'm gonna say 7.
Okay, but the first 3 episodes, I'd have given it a solid 8 and 8. I say solid and then I give it a range. That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, I'm gonna give it. I would have given the first 3 episodes, or I still give the first 3 episodes like an 8.5. So if you dive into this, I think everyone's gonna like it right away. If you're like me though, you might start trailing off. But then, as we know with many things that I've disliked at the beginning, we get to the end, this could be the greatest show of all time. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But so here's my question for you, Mike, and just a little backstory for Pat to follow along on this too. So when you go into the box, and this is not only letting Pat know, but also verifying every step of everything I say here, Mike. When you go into the box, you control the doorway. You control what is on the other side of the doorway that you come out of the box in by what you're thinking, right? That's your brain is essentially the controller for where you're heading in this box, right, Mike?
Right.
Okay, let me ask you this then, Mike. You ready for the big question? Why is there a billion doors?
I hate this show. I think because there is legitimately a door for every possibility, but I don't think it's just what you're consciously thinking and you're aware of. You know, they try to clear their minds and think good thoughts and stuff like that. I don't know of anybody that can clear out 100%. I mean, I'm sure there's some of these, you know,
facts. I agree with that completely. But basically, the way they're selling the show is, when you open the door, what's on the other side is what's in your head, controlled or subconscious or not. That's what gets kind of confusing with this, Pat. You know, of course, you're not going to think you want death and destruction on the other side of the door. But Pat, if you're thinking, I want, you know, ice cream and gumdrops and a happy life on the other side of the door, subconsciously, you're also thinking, oh, man, but I hope there's no snakes. And so then you open the door and you get both, you know, so
gumdrop snakes.
Yeah, and you like Mike said, you can't completely control exactly what you're thinking, you know, so and clear your mind completely. But like I said, they sell it in the show that what you're thinking, regardless, is what you get when you open the door. So why not just have one door that you open and close it and think a different thing and open and close it? You know what I'm saying, Mike?
Yeah, I think because it's more cool to have these long, endless, dark, creepy corridors that you're running down. But I think sometimes it's just because it's cool.
Okay.
Just because.
Well, you actually reminded me of another side question comment me and Jesse had too. Before we knew about the whole controlling the doors with your mind thing, and there was a million doors, they would walk past like 40 doors.
Yeah.
To open a door to test it, and then they'll like walk past 40 more doors and open another door and to test it. Why skip any doors?
Seriously, I would not be able to skip any. But that's different personality types. There are people that are just so random, and they think it's like, you know what, I'm not going to do every door. But for me, I have to. If I skip one, you know what I'm doing next? I'm going back to it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's not really a complaint because, like I said, that's you know, before they realized the mind thing. Anyway, we were wondering why were they? Yeah, just start here and work your way down. I mean, so anyway, overall, it's still really, like I said, it's still really cool. I recommend people check it out in general because it's compelling, if nothing else, you know, and it's got some big time actors in it, which I think overall are acting well. Like I said, I think it's a writing issue in the later episodes and a directing issue that there's just got some conflicting things. And I'm not going to get into the nuance of all that, but Mike, if me and you were sitting watching this together, like I paused it like every 5 minutes with Jesse to be like, what, hey, what would you, you know, stuff like that, you know? So
now, how did you guys watch this? Did you watch, you know, like 5 episodes in a row, or did you break it up?
Yeah, we watched, I think we watched the first 2 episodes, and then we got back to it when we watched episode 3 and 4. And then we got back to it when we were watching episode 5 and 6, kind of like that, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of how, because I didn't notice the difference there. But so, and we watched it broken up as well. So I was wondering if you watched like the first 4 all back to back, that you can see that stark difference from 3 to 4. But if you break it up, it's kind of, you know.
Well, like I said, we broke it up to where we watched 3 and 4. So we did watch those 2 back to back, which that's where the stark difference was for us. So, you know, but anyway. So yeah, anyway, Dark Matter, Apple TV, check it out. I'll give an update on that once we get it all watched as well. Yeah. All right, and then I got into what the theme of my part of today's show is, some kaiju action, starting with one of Pat's favorites, right, Pat? Ultraman Rising. Ultraman's your boy, right, Pat?
Yeah.
One of them, right?
Yeah, I've been a long time Ultraman fan from when I was young.
Yeah. So I don't know anything aside from the slight memories when I was young watching Ultraman and the Godzilla universe, you know. Pat, so first question for you. So Ultraman started in Godzilla, right?
No, they are not connected at all.
Wait, what? Who am I thinking of that was in the Godzilla movies? The robot guy with the fingers.
Yeah, it's Jet Jaguar.
Oh, Jet Jaguar. Okay, so I know nothing about Ultraman.
You probably watched
Ultraman,
but your memories put them all together.
Oh, that might be true. Pat, what were you gonna say?
I will say, you know, to put on my nerd glasses, they did use a Godzilla suit in one episode of the original Ultraman series, but they modified it to create a different kaiju monster for Ultraman to fight.
Ah, okay. So anyway, regardless of all that, obviously I'm saying I don't know anything about this anyway. So, did you happen to watch this show, Pat?
I did see it. Yeah.
And what'd you think?
I thought it was really well done. It's a good family movie. I mean, there's certainly some little nitpicks, but overall, I really enjoyed it. I think the rest of my family did too.
Okay, cool. I'm really happy to hear that then, because that's what I was going to ask. Which thank God I didn't have to point out things because of my memory. But that's my questions were just basically going to be: does this kind of follow like it would an Ultraman fan like this? And since you've seen it and you're saying that, that's good. And yeah, I couldn't agree more with it's a fun family adventure. Ultraman's cool. The biggest and for lack of a better way to describe a complaint, but I'm not really complaining, was just that I did feel like the relationship, as you can see on this poster, Mike, there's a little baby kaiju with Ultraman, and they kind of, it seemed like they were kind of pulling a Mandalorian a little bit, on me at least. I don't know whether this story has any kind of relationship with any kind of previous Ultraman lore or not, but the relationship, the bonding or whatever between Ultraman and the baby kaiju seemed to get a little drawn out for me. Just, I don't know, maybe because I wasn't entertained by that very much. But again, being family friendly, it's fine. I'm not, saying it's bad or anything. And I definitely like the animation. The story overall was definitely good stuff. So it's great to hear you liked it. Did you watch it with Valor?
Yeah, we all watched it. Yep.
And he liked it too?
Yeah, I think the only complaint I heard was yesterday. We actually saw at Walmart they had a SH Figure Arts, sort of a dumbed down version, like a base version, like a cheaper version. You don't normally see SH Figure Arts in Walmart, and they had this Ultraman, and Valor finally commented that he doesn't really like the proportions with the long neck and the long, sort of the extended arms, legs, and neck of this Ultraman. But I like it. It's also sort of, he looks like Shin Ultraman, which was the movie that came out I think 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
Like a live action movie, and they used the sort of that same design with the longer neck, the little more slender body proportions.
Okay. Yeah, that definitely stood out to me too. But I just thought it was an animation choice, which I thought looked fairly cool, And again, not having any history with Ultraman, I always took him as a real serious guy. Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to ask you too. Is this like a generation? Has Ultraman always been like a generational family thing where dad was Ultraman and then now his son's Ultraman? Is that always been an Ultraman thing?
Yeah, there are plenty of father-son ultras, but this is sort of a different twist on it. It's its own thing.
Okay. All right, cool. But anyway, my overall review of this is definitely positive. For family kind of kid show, I definitely give this a solid 8. I don't know if you're like an adult nerd like us, and maybe you don't have a family. Sorry about it, but I don't know whether you'd really appreciate this as much. But definitely for family, and it sounds like Ultraman lovers, it gets a good review. So. And again, now to continue on with my Kaijus, which I didn't even mention that for the people that don't know anything about Ultraman. He's basically a big Kaiju fighter, right? And Kaijus are, actually, when I was typing in the title of the show, I was making sure I was spelling Kaijus correctly and looked it up. And there's actually a term in the Webster's dictionary for what a kaiju is, and it's just giant monster, right? I mean, that's simple, right? Yeah. So anyway, for anybody who didn't know what a kaiju was, I felt like that was important. You know what I mean, Mike?
I know what you mean.
All right. Then I watched.
We're happy. I know what you mean.
Yeah, I am. Oh, they are too. Yeah. Then I watched Mech Cadets on Netflix, which I don't know which came first in this one, the cartoon or the comic, which I've actually tried to sell this comic a few times in whatnot shows and everything. But the comic is what made me interested in the show.
The comic has a Netflix N on it.
Huh?
The comic has a Netflix N on it, doesn't it? Is that a Netflix N?
Yeah, it's a Netflix N. But still, so did they make the show based on the comic, or was the comic based on the show? It still doesn't answer my question.
My guess would be this comic was based on the show.
Pat, do you know?
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't think I was aware of either.
Okay.
Yeah, I was unaware of both. Yeah.
Well, anyway, talking about the show, there's a bunch of big human robots, human piloted robots in this, and they're fighting kaiju. Okay. This show is more reminiscent to me to Pacific Rim, like not even reminiscent. You can't even I feel like this Mech Cadets could be Pacific Rim for kids. I don't know. It's extremely similar. with just a couple small differences. First of all, this is a family show as well. Family/kid show, you know, which and I guess when you lean one way, when you lean family or kids, right? Kids, it's kind of, you know, kind of downplayed towards kids intelligent, but family, it can be for adults, but it's safe for kids. Is that the way you kind of look at the differences there, right?
Sometimes, yeah.
I guess I never really thought about it, but yeah, I would say I would agree.
It's fair with, okay, good. Okay, so I would say this leans into kids then, because it's very simple. But there is, you know, it can be enjoyed by adults. I overall enjoyed it. So basically, again, it's human piloted robots against kaijus. This focuses on the kids in the school, in the, you know, Mech Cadet Academy. And this young man you see in the front there is kind of the focal point of the show, because you can see the other kids in the background there. They are also Mech Cadets. And basically, they are Mech Cadets. Like, they've been training this their whole life, short life at that, but still their whole life, ever since they've been going through school and they've been raised, and they're in this academy, and they've only dreamt about running a mech. Well, this kid in front, he's only dreamt about running a mech too, but his mother's the janitor for the Mech Cadet Academy, and he is her, you know, he just works there with her sometimes. So he's in that environment. So that's why he always dreams about being a pilot, but he's not really a cadet. He just works at, you know, cleaning toilets with his mom there, you know.
So is that a janitor uniform he's wearing more to?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Right.
It's funny because since he's in the front and it's different, I immediately thought that he was more of the leader and you know, separated from the others. He's separated from the others, but it's the other way.
Exactly. Yeah. So basically what happens here, and this is the kind of twist that's different than Pacific Rim. These robots are self-aware. Like they're kind of like Transformers. So let's mix a couple other you know, geek culture here. So they're like Transformers. They're self-aware. And then you know how Bumblebee could change into a Camaro, and then, you know, everybody and anyone seems to have taken a ride in Bumblebee, you know, when he's in Camaro form. So this is that way that they basically can take a ride with these robots. And then again, taking it back to Pacific Rim, they do mind link when they're in the robot. But and this goes into where this is kind of more directed towards kids. If this didn't seem to be pointing to kids a little bit as their target audience, I would have felt a little bit of that. You got more splaining to do here. You know, how does this work exactly? You know, that kind of thing. But like I said, being a kid show, I'm not going to browbeat it for that. Because they don't explain who's piloting what, when, and why they have to meld, and how that affect, you know, at least how far I am. Again, I'm about halfway through season 1 on this. And they don't get into any of those ultra details. This is basically about drama, because what happens, this one, his name's Buddy, the middle mech in the back, he comes down, and then there's this mech island or mech planet or something that these mechs come from, and he just shows up one day. And the janitor boy, I apologize for not having the characters' names off the top of my head, but the janitor kid is out riding his bike, you know, his motorcycle back in the caverns of the desert, and finds Buddy, the name of the main mech here, in a cave. And these creatures, again, kaiju, it's a small one though, attacks him. Buddy has to save him, but then the creature starts getting the best of Buddy. So then the janitor kid pulls off this awesome motorcycle move and saves Buddy. So then Buddy's like, "Oh man, you're my kid." So he mind melds, because it's kind of like, again, okay, let's go with another one.
They kind of choose their human.
Exactly. It's like Avatar. Remember how the dragons they'd fly in the air had to actually pick their rider? Remember that, Pat?
I do not.
Yeah, I remember Pat because I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it either, Pat?
Which was that in the original one? I don't even.
Yeah.
Remember. Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, where she took them up to where all the dragons are hanging out, and one of them had to pick you. But anyway, that's a whole other thing. So anyway, Mike nailed it when he said that the mechs actually pick their pilot. They have to choose you to mind meld with you for it to work out. So he picks this janitor kid. So then, of course, the janitor kid becomes becomes a pilot, and then, of course, the other kids that have been investing their entire life and working day and night. Well, this kid's playing video games. They've been studying mechs and in school. This kid's playing video games all the time. And he's a pilot too. So they're like a little bit torn about it. You know, a couple of them don't really care. But the main one there with her arms crossed, you can see she's the number one mech pilot ever. And the fact that this kid's a pilot at all is insulting to her sensibilities, you know, so.
Yeah. Oh, I thought of that too, Karen.
Yeah,
Right,
Karen,
like
nice reference. Like How to Train the Dragon too. Yeah, How to Train Your Dragon.
Well, she's stupid for being all bitter because the mech chose him.
Exactly. That's what everybody else thinks. They're like, well, the mech chose him. What are you going to do? But
Yeah.
she's like, no.
Yeah, that's the accepting factor. It's like the mech will choose its pilot. And it's like, okay, yeah, cool. And then it chooses this kid that has no mech training.
Right.
Bitter.
So anyway, this is I mean, this show's fine. It's another family friendly, mostly directed at kids, fairly entertaining show. The last thing I have to say about it is that the animation style in this might not exactly be my cup of tea. Okay. You know how they take some animation will literally take human video or whatever and just animate that. So it really has human characteristics, you know, it's really humanized. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You kind of know what I mean, Pat?
Maybe. Can you give an example?
I think they film actors and then just take their movements.
Like motion capture, like a video game.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a good. I can't really think of one example right now, of course, but yeah, video game, I guess animation would be yeah, okay. How about the Telltale series? You know how that animation is where it seems like it's literally just the people, but it's animated. You know the Telltale series, The Walking Dead, Telltale, and the Batman, Telltale, like that. Okay, you know how you have that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got that part of it. So when I say that, that's what I mean. Okay. Now, do you remember what was the name of that puppeteering mocking show from the makers of South Park? What's the makers of South Park?
Team America.
Yeah, Team America World Police. Remember that movie?
Mm-hmm.
So this animation looks like if you took Team America World Police and applied what we were talking about with the animation of the human. They look like animatronics or whatever you call them.
Marionette puppets.
Yeah, marionette puppets, exactly. I love when you guys help me with my words. Exactly. It looks like marionette puppets, but animated. So it's strange, you know. And I guess I'm going to give the story and the writing and the dialogue of this extra props at the fact that was able to get me past how much I wasn't enjoying the animation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This looks like Doc McStuffin's animation from what I remember.
Okay.
Cora was a big fan of Doc McStuffin's.
Gotcha. So yeah, I mean, it's just it's different. It's not horrible. I just didn't really care for the animation that much at all. But like I said, the rest of it's good, fine. So I'll give this a solid 7.5 bags of popcorn. As far as, again, targeting family, kid audience, you know, I'm not sure if a regular just adult geek would really be into this as much. It's very simple. So anyway, which, I obviously was in a family kids mood watching.
Yeah, the algorithms for you was, man, you're heading down a path, man.
Yeah, exactly. So
You'll be watching Doc McStuffins pretty soon. You watch.
Maybe you're probably right. All right, and then that's all I watched this week. Once again, it's not literally all I watched, but no one wants to hear me talk about old NCIS episodes, so that's all we'll say.
Seriously, Emily was watching NCIS for every morning. I'd go to work, and she's sitting in doing her makeup and hair and stuff, and she had her iPad on watching NCIS.
We started CSI again too, man. That's just some great old stuff, So, and if you haven't seen it for 10 years, it's new to you,
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Mike? Well,
she's on to Supernatural now.
Oh yeah, exactly. Supernatural. We even whip out with Smallville sometimes. I put Seinfeld on in the background around regular,
Yep.
So, what's your Pat? What's your favorite? Since we weren't really friends then, your favorite like 90s go-to show? Did you have one or a couple?
I don't know. The 90s was so long ago. I don't remember. I mean, I loved Seinfeld. I was a huge Seinfeld.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Okay. Were you a Friends guy too?
Yeah.
And you talked about being an Office guy too, but we're getting in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Then. So yeah. So okay.
Cora just watched Friends, all of them. Well, not just. I mean, it took her like a month and a half or whatever, but yeah, she did all the Friends.
Getting all the Friends in a month and a half is that's a lot of viewing.
That's all she did was watch Friends. All she did. Who's your favorite
on Friends?
Yeah,
Joey.
Me too. I like Joey. Cora likes Chandler.
Yeah, Chandler's obviously awesome,
Yeah.
but yeah, Joey. Yeah. How about you, Pat?
Yeah, probably Chandler.
Chandler.
All right, cool. No one wants to hear us talk about old
Friends.
Mike, you ready for pick 3?
Yeah.
Awesome. I'd have figured you maybe not to still bleed back into the last segment, Mike. I would have figured you more for a Chandler guy because he's so sharp and witty and dry humor. That's totally how I envision you in most of your life. I'm Joey, the kind of dumb, but funny sometimes guy, but you're the sharp, witty, but dry guy,
Yeah, that's what I mean, Joey is just that
dumb, hilarious guy. Good-hearted. Yeah, all the quality. Yeah. Karen's asking, who am I? Karen, are you asking us who we think your favorite is, or we think you compare to?
Yeah, because I don't think I'm Joey.
Right.
He's just my favorite character.
I would say Karen's probably mostly like Phoebe.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I think you're smarter than Phoebe, though, Karen. So don't take that part of it. So anyway.
All right.
All right, Mike, on to the pick 3.
All right. Here we go. Pick 3. Here we have 10 covers chosen from a list of 426. These all come out Wednesday, July 3rd. So you can pick them up for some Independence Day reading if you choose. We'll start off with Doctor Strange 17, Lee Garbett. I don't know which way it goes. Then Justice Society of America number 10, Tony Harris. Conan the Barbarian number 12, Jeffrey Allen Love. Space Ghost number 3, Michael Cho. Spider-Man Reign 2, number 1, Kari Andrews. Spider-Man Reign 2, number 1, Lana Francis Yu. Wolverine Deep Cut number 1, David Yarden. Walking Dead Deluxe 92, the connecting cover from Art Adams. Savage Sword of Conan number 3, Alex Horley. And Batman 150, Jorge Jimenez.
Nice. Pat, what did you think of this week's selections?
I liked most of them.
Yes.
I knew you were going to say that. You know why?
Because you don't.
Because I had a tough time this week. It always,
man.
it always seems like, but I have specific reasons why, which I'll explain after we get the 3. But Mike, were you so it sounds like you were feeling kind of proud of these, like you thought, oh yeah, this is a good one, this is a good week.
Yeah, I liked this week. And I did do 2 of the Spider-Man because I got to the Kari Andrews cover and I'm like, oh man, that is so sweet. His covers are always really awesome.
Yeah.
And then I got to the Lionel Francis Yu and I'm like, oh man, that one's really cool too. So I skipped it, but then I thought, you know what? It's just so good. I liked it so much that I didn't care if it doubled up on a title. I put it up there anyway. So
yeah, can I make one critique for the future?
Yeah.
When you do that, you shouldn't put them back to back though.
That's true. Separate them, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I was looking through them.
Yeah, kind of like the Conans. They were far enough apart.
Yeah.
But yeah, I doubled up on that too because I was like, I just pass these up. But I get what you're saying.
I mean, no big deal. I was just when I was looking through them, it made me not. I could have possibly chose. Well, I'm kind of forecasting here a little bit. I could have possibly chose both of them because they're both awesome. But I felt like I only wanted to choose one because they were back to back for some reason. I don't know. It's whatever. So anyway.
All right.
All right. Who we got?
A little behind the scenes here.
Okay.
One cover received 0 votes again, which is.
I love when we get to guess this.
Yep. So you'll be able to guess that. And this was kind of cool. New York Mike picked the same 3 covers that I picked, or I picked. Yeah, he picked because I wrote mine down first and then he sent his in. But yeah, we both picked the same 3 covers, which was like, oh, that's awesome.
You were in tune this week. Nice.
All right.
All right.
So you're all ready.
Yep.
Coming in 3rd, we've got Savage Sword of Conan, number 3, Alex Horley. Now, I was talking to Johnny about this one a little bit. There's a virgin variant without the trade dress, and it's a great piece of artwork, but I love the trade dress for this, and I think that it just does it so much more justice when it's on there. And and Johnny pointed out, it doesn't cover up or impede the artwork at all. It's behind. It's just a well laid out cover.
Yeah, that's the way we all say it should be, right, Pat? Isn't that what you're pointing out regularly as well? It should be.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I agree.
There we go.
What'd you say?
I said maybe I say that, but I do agree. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like, Mike, tracking with me that when we talk about it, that's what we always kind of talk about when Pat's passionate about that, right, Mike?
He is. He pounds his fists a lot when we talk about it.
Right.
He's in.
Anyway, this was definitely one of my picks. This is awesome. I was actually hoping this would have been number 1. Did you pick this one, Pat?
I did not pick this one.
Mike, is this one of your 3?
Yes.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
Karen picked this one too. You can rely on Karen for a pick if it's an awesome Savage Sword of Conan cover. That's for sure. She's a Conan fan. But anyway,
That's
all
the
right.
problem. I'm not a big Conan fan. I don't like the big naked muscly dudes, I guess. That's just me.
I like werewolves though.
Well, that's true. I forgot about the werewolf. Does it have rabies?
I like it.
That would be the worst. A rabid werewolf. I mean, a werewolf is bad. A wolf with rabies is bad. How about a rabid werewolf? Take notes. We're gonna write that story.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I'm going to assume that all werewolves are rabid. I'm gonna go there. I actually don't think any werewolf bite is safe.
For
Anyway.
different reasons, though.
You might be right. Yeah, yeah. And now, Pat, I don't appreciate you using the word naked in that, because now I don't want to enjoy that picture as much. But he's not naked. Look at that awesome fur cape he has on. Come on.
That's true. I take back what I said.
Okay, cool.
It's funny that he has a fur cape. Like his back is cold. Is not. His back is warm, but his chest and arms and legs.
Right.
Conan makes no sense.
He had to have. He could only deal loin. He has a loincloth too. He was limited in his materials, Mike, so he had to pick and choose.
He's about to fix that with that big old.
I was gonna say once he defeats this werewolf, he can complete his ensemble. Yeah.
Yes. And you know how in every video game that's like this too, your first armor is leather, right? So he's just thinking that cape is actually armor for him. It's not really a blankie. He's got to have a cape to protect his back because he can protect his front.
Right.
But he's got, awesome. So anyway.
All right, there we go.
All right, what's number 2?
Number 2, we have Doctor Strange 17, Lee Garbett. And I must say, I voted for this one too.
Oh, nice, Mike. Nice. You and Mike from New York are batting 100 right now. Got it. Batting 1,000? Batting 1,000, yeah. Pat, did you pick this?
I did pick this one. Yes.
This would have been my number 4. This would have been my number 4. I like this one a lot too, but I did not pick this one. Yeah. It's very cool. I feel like I've always in my entire life, the MCU kind of changed my views of everything. It kind of restructured my thoughts on so many things. But before the MCU, whenever I saw Doctor Strange, all I could think was Dracula. He has that very, how Dracula has the, he always had the cape, the black cape that comes up, and I'd see Doctor Strange on the cover and it'd always be a flowing cape with the thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not seeing that? You guys don't see that?
I know what you're saying. I was before the MCU. I was like, Doctor Strange.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't care.
And if you never saw it before, here you can see it because there it is specifically on this cover. There you go. That's exactly what I saw constantly. But anyway,
he's legitimately a vampire there.
Yeah. All right.
And hold the drum roll. Hold the drum roll, because we had also second. I didn't want to do tiebreaker stuff because so we have 4 covers this week.
Okay.
These 2 had tied, and I felt that all 4 were worthy, and it was so close. So we've got the also second Spider-Man Reign 2, number 1, Kari Andrews.
Okay, well, now I'm batting 1,000 because I picked this one.
I was like, now you can actually be wrong on one, but still get all 3.
Right. Pat, did you pick this one?
I did not pick this one. No.
Mike, what
it's
did
not
you?
Bad.
I did not pick this one. But yeah, he's got that long beard. I'm not sure. I didn't read the first Spider-Man Reign, so I don't know what that whole thing is. I think Kari Andrews did that too, didn't he, Pat?
Yes.
Yep.
He's very Spawn-esque in this cover.
That's what Tyler said.
Yeah.
It's Spider-Man Reign, the Spawn homage cover. And I was like, well, I know what he's talking about.
You're right. Yeah. But cool, awesome.
Yep. All right. You ready for number 1? Because there is no other number 2.
Okay.
But number 1.
Ugh.
It's Conan the Barbarian. I was really surprised.
I am surprised by that.
Jeffrey Allen Love. You know, when I saw this, I went back because I was like, hey, I've got that Sacrificers 1 in 10 variant that looks very similar. It's the same artist. So I hadn't heard of him before. And it is same artist. And then I looked at more of his work. They're all very, very similar to this. So if you like this, a lot of his covers are the same kind of style, you know, that a lot of shadow and
What's his name again? You said
Jeffrey Allen Love. And as far as I know, I haven't dove more into his stuff, but I think he's just a cover artist. I don't know of any
interior work he's done.
yeah, but hold on. I left my mail open and I just got an email.
Well, I did not vote for this one. Karen got 3 of the 4. Yeah.
I got 3 of the 4. I voted for this one too. Oh, so did New York Mike. Congratulations, New York Mike.
Pat, did you vote for this one?
No,
I
again,
don't-
Conan. Yeah, I'm not a big Conan fan. So my family was though.
Yeah.
Voted for it.
Yeah, I don't think you like this one. Your reaction was disappointing.
Yeah.
You're disappointed.
I kind of this one seemed to be the plainest of the batch for me, so that's why I didn't. Which obviously it is, but you know, it seems like black and white does really well with our group. You know. So.
Yep.
But
So-
anyway.
I have to point something out while we've got them all up here real quick.
Okay.
Marcus loved the Space Ghost cover, but he was a little bit confused because he's like, is that his hair? And I said, dude, now I can't see it. Thinking that's Space Ghost's red hair flowing back.
Okay, so then let's play the which one didn't get a vote game. Pat, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I have 2 contenders. And
Okay.
just let me say one of my contenders for no votes is sort of mind-boggling. Now, I don't know. I forget what I said. I feel like the one that got no votes is a shocking twist to our Xcellar family, and I'm going to go with Walking Dead Deluxe.
Okay. I'm going to go with Space Ghost. Even though you just said Mark loved it, I'm feeling like the fact that he saw that as Space Ghost hair maybe kept him from voting for it. So I'm going to go Space Ghost. Karen's going. You say Batman? Karen said Batman.
Okay. Awesome. Well, Marcus did not vote for Space Ghost for that reason.
Okay.
So you are correct there, but you are incorrect because Patrick voted for Space Ghost.
Oh man.
I'm the only one that voted for that.
Yeah.
Wow.
For me, it was a toss-up between Doctor Strange and Space Ghost.
Mhm.
And I'm not sure who the female character is there, but the way her face is drawn, it kind of reminded me more of the classic, you know, DC and Marvel horror stuff.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. That's my favorite part of it is just her face. So that's what got the nod there.
Okay.
Karen said Batman. Incorrect. Batman received 5 votes.
I was sure Pat voted for Batman anyway. So
Yeah, I was just so glad to see another Batman on our gargoyle cover. But I am shocked that it did not place in the top 3.
yeah.
There, Karen. Karen liked the Space Ghost as well.
Yeah.
And Patrick is correct. It is the Walking Dead Deluxe. Did not get any votes.
That is surprising.
Yeah.
It's because it's just a guy, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
there's zombies in the background, but it's just Jesus. And
Yeah, there's no action there. But I love it a lot. It's one of my favorite ones of what Art Adams is doing, just because I think it's a really good drawing of Jesus there. So it's it's one of my favorite ones of that run. So that's it. That's the breakdown.
Yeah, I would have figured that Walking Dead would have got a vote because it's yeah. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, it is simple, but it's just, I mean, it's Art Adams. It's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, but
Yeah, I would have guessed that. I was surprised Batman got as many.
Well, I'm shocked, especially since we had 4 in the pick 3, that Wolverine didn't place at all.
Yeah,
Man,
the Batman and Wolverine, where our usual standbys, popular characters, didn't crack the top 3.
and that Wolverine cover is just awesome. That was my third pick. Is you guys agree with you? Like that one? No.
I put it on there.
Right.
But I put it on there, with you in mind. Like I said, every week I put stuff on that I think is going to appeal to everybody. And the Batman with the gargoyle, I don't put those on for Pat to hate.
Right.
This one I did put on there because what I liked about it is the shadow of Batman behind him.
Right.
I thought that was kind of cool. It's very symmetrical.
Yeah, it is very cool.
That's why I liked that presentation of it. And it's just Jorge Jimenez is such a good artist. So
yeah,
we have some Jorge Jimenez talking in the horizon coming up. So stay tuned.
Nice. So my nitpickiness now with why I had a hard time with this. So I don't like the trade dress on the Spider-Man Rain covers. Those trade dress gives me a 90s feel. I feel like that's how a lot of the trade dress was in the 90s. You guys tracking with that at all?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with 90s. Gives me a more modern, simplistic, non-logo vibe.
Yeah, so maybe I'm not. Maybe it's not the 90s, but yeah, it's it's something that it detracted from the cover for me. I just didn't like the trade dress on either one of those. I don't like the Space Ghost at all. Yeah, Walking Dead's too simple. I'm not a black and white or splash, whatever we call that, with the red with the Conan cover. I think the Unity's too busy. Pat's got me on board. I've seen Batman with the gargoyle too many times. So that's why my picks were Savage Sword of Conan and Wolverine. But aside from the whole Doctor Strange and vampire thing, I feel like, and I know this is how, vampires are portrayed and stuff. I don't know whether in that Doctor Strange cover he's supposed to be in the midst of transforming or not, but that kind of washed out the cover for me. And then his hand in the top right corner, that's what that's supposed to be, right?
Yeah, he's like, rah!
Yeah, I can't, I can tell that's a hand, but I can't visualize exactly how it's working, So that took away from the Doctor Strange for me. So for my third pick, I just conceded, okay, even though I don't like the Spider-Man Rain trade dress too much, I really like that Carrie Andrews, art, and it's Spawn-esque, which was appealing to me too, of course. So, but that's why it was kind of tough for me, so this isn't like bad covers in general, of course, but that's why I just had nitpicks about everything that made me not feel like I wanted to pick it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, that's what you have to do. You have to find the reasons not to pick them, I guess.
Yeah.
I like what I like about that Doctor Strange is the movement also of Doctor Strange. And I think that's what you're getting, that kind of blurred effect underneath the hand being up. It's the swooshing in or
right.
So I don't care about any of that storyline, the whole blood hunt stuff. I don't get Doctor Strange. I actually want this cover, but I'm trying not to buy comic books just for the cover alone.
Right.
But I want that cover. And the more I look at it, the more I want it.
Doesn't that hand look funky to you?
To me, no. He's a flipping vampire.
I know, but what's going on with the hand though? I can't even make out.
It's just all creepy and monster-like.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
scary. It's scary.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, but yeah, as we've noted many times before, and we'll do it again. Great job, Mike, because we know that's a tough,
It's fun.
yeah, tough thing to do sometimes to sift through all the covers coming out this week to pick just 10. So great job, Mike.
Thank you. It's fun. I like doing it.
And on the vampire note, did you guys see the trailer for Nosferatu dropped?
Oh, I have not.
I didn't see it.
Looks pretty cool. He's my favorite vampire.
Oh, yeah.
And I hope I'm not saying this incorrectly because this is what I've always thought my entire life. So if you guys tell me I'm wrong right now, I'm probably gonna be a little sad about it. But Nosferatu is like the OG vampire, right? He's like, but even before Dracula, correct?
I would have thought the book. Wouldn't the book have been first?
Well, Nosferatu was like, when was that first film done? Early 1920 something.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
But when was?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
when was Dracula written?
1936.
Okay.
It was written in 1936.
Do not check that because I just threw out a year. I have no idea if that's accurate.
Emily would know. She did a whole college. Yeah. Oh, yeah. First edition, 1897.
For what, Dracula?
Yeah, Dracula was 1897. So, yeah, I imagine Nosferatu was Dracula was first.
Okay. Well, how about in lore? What?
Yeah, 1922. There was actually, I was looking it up, and there's a Dracula versus Nosferatu.
Karen
Right.
says nope. 1922. We got you. We're tracking.
They offer vastly different interpretations of the myth. Yeah, interesting.
Well, here's the second question then. Regardless of when they came out, when's the story supposed to be taking place? Is Nosferatu's story before Dracula's story?
No, I think it's here. Why is Nosferatu illegal? Is that I don't know what that's about, but the director F.W.
Because he's super scary. That's why he's so scary. He scares people just by looking at him. Dracula's charming.
He adapted the 1897 novel without permission from Stoker's estate. So that's just one little thing on the old Google machine here. So I don't know. I'm gonna go with that because I don't feel like delving deeper into some big.
Gotcha. But anyway, in my personal opinion, life, I've always been like Nosferatu's the OG. So I've always loved Nosferatu. And then Salem's Lot's my favorite vampire movie, and that's very Nosferatu-y, if that's a thing. So, anyway.
Yeah, they're very similar look.
Yeah.
Very scary.
All right, you ready to get some reviews in?
Reviews, yes.
Can't wait to hear about your rabies, Mike.
Son of a... All right.
I, of course, am assuming your rabies are about your review because we already did your other segment, and based on your tease, we didn't get any rabies in the pick 3.
It was a misleading tease.
Wait, do you have an announcement? You actually have rabies?
Yeah. I was up in Gettysburg. I got camping and I got bit by a raccoon. No, actually, I read Feral number 3. This is from May 22nd is when this issue came out. Number 4 came out June 19th. I'm still waiting for mine to arrive. So that's why we're on 3.
Gotcha.
And we're going to start with the cover. First off, okay, Tony Fleece is the writer. Trish Forstner and Tony Rodriguez are the artists. I love this cover. And it took me a bit. I'm like, why do I like this so much? That wolf or that dog or whatever. It's very Ryan Otley like. And this is the Grizzly Shark book. So that's why that one's just so great. It looks like that could have been something that Ryan Otley drew.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's for sure. I like it.
So we're still following, we've got our group of cats, and they're running from rabid foxes and raccoons. And now in this issue, they're also running from humans with guns. They're all wearing these hazmat suits. And it just seems kind of extreme that there's these groups of people coming through, just wiping out everything and anything. Their orders are to kill everything, whether it's foaming at the mouth or showing signs of rabies or not. They're just kill everything. So you're wondering, it's like, holy cow, this is pretty extreme. But my favorite part is when our cats run into, once again, a group of rabid foxes. There are a lot of foxes in this forest. We've got 6 here. In issue 1, I think there were like 7 or 8. So I guess foxes run in packs in this world, and they're awesome. I love the foxes in here.
Yeah, at least rabid foxes. That's a great picture too. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's so fantastic. I want a tattoo of one of these foxes now.
Okay.
I am going to get, I think I may have mentioned it before, I'm going to get a sketch cover for issue 1. And I'll see if Trish will be at Baltimore, I think, and I'll see if I can get a quick sketch cover. What character would you like? I'd like a rabid fox. So anyway,
I'm sure it'll be awesome. I can't wait to see it.
So the cats they're now they're trying to find their home. So they run into these foxes, and then also the foxes chase them right into the path of the humans, and that's what I showed you here. And it's just total chaos. And by the end, they end up finding their home, and there's a sign posted on a tree, and everything's all roped off with the yellow tape, and it's stating that the whole entire area is in quarantine, and everybody's supposed to evacuate, and they are told not to bring any pets with them, even if they're not showing any signs of rabies or whatever. No pets are allowed out. They all have to stay. So that's kind of interesting. It's like, it's almost like it's some kind of the rabies, but how are they passed? It seems like if there are pets that don't have rabies, they could possibly get them in a non-traditional way, maybe. I don't know.
Is this something you feel like once you read more, it'll be explained, or is it like a throwaway thought that they don't want you to notice?
No, I think they'll cover it, because from I thought initially this was going to be a limited series, and then I started seeing it labeled as an ongoing series. Right now, I think they've only solicited up to issue 6, which is probably either going to end the limited series, or it's just the break for the trade paperbacks, which after reading everything, it's just another cool page. After reading the first 3 issues, it really seems like this would work better in trade paperback form. So if you haven't read this far, well, issue 4 is out. If you haven't read them and you're not looking to pick up the individual books, definitely pick up the trade paperback, because I think it'll read better that way. That's the way I read Stray Dogs, was in trade paperback form, and that was really great. So I think this story just lends itself more to being read in one sitting. But this is a get it. It's a lot of fun. The artwork is just absolutely fantastic. The story's good. It moves along pretty fast. So this is a get it for me.
Awesome.
As far as ongoing, I don't know how it could be ongoing, but also I guess, it could kind of follow that Walking Dead thing where it just keeps on going. Nothing stops the rabies, maybe. So that's it. Feral number 3. Get it.
Man, all your reviews of all of these with Stray Dogs and Feral now, they're making me want them. That's for sure. Patty, you on board with these?
it doesn't really. It's not really up my alley. I don't think. But yeah,
they're cool though.
the artwork looks great.
Yeah. Yep. All right, what you got, Pat?
What do I got? Great piece of reading. I almost review, but I figured I'd do this. Doom #1, Giant.
Hey, Pat, just a reminder real quick that
Yes.
you're when you're close to your mic and when you're even, it doesn't seem like you need to be that far away, but the extreme is extreme. You know,
It's
like
weird. Just must
yeah,
be
it seems like if you weren't right on top of your mic, you trail off. We can't understand you. Right, Mike?
interesting.
Yes.
Okay. Well, this is Doom #1, a one giant-sized one-shot, $7. This is by Sanford Green and Jonathan Hickman. Co-wrote the book. I think Sanford Green is the artist, and I think he's not really known as a writer. So maybe he had a solid idea, but he wanted Jonathan Hickman on board to punch it up maybe a little bit, help him out. Basically, this starts with Valeria Richards, daughter of Reed and Sue of the Fantastic Four, finding an obliterated Dr. Doom floating around in space. She basically brings him back from the dead through science and magic means. And then the story is sort of told through flashbacks. And
Why'd she bring him back from the dead?
well, that's what we find out in the flashbacks.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
Well, and she loves Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom is her protector, godfather, uncle, whatever you want to call him. They have a pact to look out for each other. Gotcha. So through flashbacks, we find out this book possibly could have also been titled Galactus, because that's the thrust of the story. The world-eating entity has sort of gone power mad. He's consuming everything in his path. He basically wipes out all the Marvel Universe heroes and villains, and he just rampages through the universe from there. Nobody can stop him. And we find out throughout this that Doom was one of the victims, but again, somehow Valeria survived and found him and thinks that he might be the last glimmer of hope to defeat Galactus.
Okay.
And like I said, she uses magic. She creates new armor for him. She injects him with some of the super soldier serum. His armor is powered by 3 cosmic cubes. It's kind of an interesting little science experiment that she cooks up for him to try to finally defeat Galactus.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, and what this book comes down to is sort of a showcase for Sanford Green's art. A lot of huge battle, double-page spread scenes of Galactus fighting heroes and villains, the Celestials, the cosmic heroes, like Guardians of the Galaxy and so forth. But there's not a lot of story here. It's basically what I've outlined. It's rampaging Galactus. Doom and Valeria are last hope. And at the end, Valeria presumably sacrifices herself. You always have Galactus's world-eating machine. He sort of sets up shop, and his machine starts to devour the Earth or whatever. She takes out the machine while it's up to Doom to take out Galactus. And at the end of the story, that's where they leave you. No conclusion. It's Galactus and Doom face to face. The end. So you're kind of left to wonder if Doom was enough to defeat Galactus, or Galactus is inevitable and continues on his rampage.
Huh. Is the cover by Sanford Green also?
Yes, this cover is Sanford Green. Yes.
Okay, so that's what the inside. I want to pick this up just for. I heard it was good. So especially with the good artwork too. I need to grab it.
Yeah. It's just one of those, if you're expecting a final outcome, you'll be disappointed, but it'll leave you think, could Doom defeat Doom or defeat Galactus, or is he truly unstoppable?
It's a one shot without a conclusion.
Yep.
That's
It's sort of
annoying.
just, an ambiguous ending given you. It's up to you to, decide.
I hate those.
Yeah. Some people do, some people don't. Some people like to ponder the question and the outcome. Some people want it, out there for them. So it's kind of, your mileage may vary. And that's why I'm going to kind of give it sort of an undecided. If you're a big fan of Sanford Green, it's a get it. But the story is not, it's good. It's fine, but it's nothing. It's not going to blow you away or anything. It's nothing earth shattering.
Okay.
Kind of funny considering we're talking about Galactus here, but yeah, I'd leave it. It's sort of up to you. If I've kind of given away that it's not going to give you all the answers, so that might not be up everyone's alley. So I understand that. So that's why I'd probably give it a final grade of undecided. It's up to you to decide.
Okay, so here's the question that I pose to both of you. You write a story that has that kind of ambiguous ending,
mm-hmm.
that you kind of leave it to the reader or the viewer or whatever to decide, right? And then, mm-hmm. Mike, you're first. You're now a guest at a con or mm-hmm. whatever event, right? Mm-hmm. And a fan comes up to you and says, "Mike, what do you think happened? Like, what did this ending mean to you?" At that point, do you divulge what you figured would probably been the end game, or do you get all like, telling them, no, I don't want to go there because I intentionally left that? Which would you actually fulfill people like me who prefer to have some kind of closures preference, and give them a closure, or would you still leave them hanging? And then I'd walk away from your table mad. What would you do, Mike?
I wouldn't tell them anything, but I would probably ask them what they thought and say, okay, well then that's what it is. Because if a lot of times the creator, if they say it, then it's set in stone, and people that had different ideas, it's like, well, I thought it would go this way. It kind of negates what they've created in their mind for the story, how they've added their own. So I would leave like that. And it kind of stems from some people write songs and they're like, what's that song about? And it's like, it's about whatever you feel that it's about. So,
okay.
Yeah. It gives ownership to the people that read it also.
How about you, Pat? Would you be that same way, or would you be different?
Yeah, I'm not sure how I'd feel if I was in the creator's position. I think I've sort of been up against this, and I can't remember a specific instance, but I think some creators will come right out and say, "Oh yeah, Doom was totally obliterated."
Right.
That's how I would. That's how.
Or they say, "Hey, I know what I had in mind when I wrote the story, but that's up for you to decide." Mm-hmm. It could go either way.
Yeah.
So if I didn't tell you, Kevin, and you walked away from my table angry, would you still want me to sign your book?
Well,
yeah.
I was going to say first, before I answer that question, would you like a print or a signed book?
All right, cool though. That does sound like it's cool, but yeah, based on your review, I'm undecided.
Yeah, based on your review, I definitely want it even more now.
Okay.
Especially with, I'm not familiar with Sanford Green, so and I love this cover. It's so good. It's great because it shows, you've got kind of the flashback ring there, and then you see Galactus in it too. It's just that's a great layout. I like it.
Yeah, it's a great cover.
And that's just classic Doom right there.
Yeah,
that's the way I like to see Doom.
Yeah, me too.
Well, slight spoiler alert: you won't really see him like that inside the book.
Oh, I hate this book.
You see what remains of that beginning, but that's about it.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fine. I guess.
All right, Mike put it in my head. Can I take this down real quick, Pat? Can I take it down?
Yeah, I imagine so. You done, Pat? Okay.
Oh yeah, I was done.
Okay. So Mike mentioned the music and you thinking what happened and you know the whole thing Mike just said about music put in my mind that I saw an interview with Phil Collins recently. And you know, In the Air Tonight, I feel like even younger people can relate to In the Air Tonight, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've always had, and I even told my family recently what that song is about. Mike, what's that song about?
What
Try
I
to keep
remember,
it brief, just brief, yeah.
yeah, what I remember, it's about, and I don't know if it was Phil Collins that witnessed like some kind of murder or something nefarious like that.
Yeah. Is that what you remember too, Pat?
Yeah, something about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I remember too. But in this interview, he said he did that on the fly kind of improv, kind of just coming up with the lyrics and it doesn't, he said it doesn't mean anything. It's like basically he said it's gibberish.
Yeah, see, now
it doesn't have any meaning.
The song isn't awesome anymore because the creator of it took away. I mean, it's obvious it's his right to do that because he wrote the song and it's his, but now, oh, yeah, it's just junk. Before it's like, well, really? Phil Collins saw a murder and he wrote a song about it.
Well, you're contradicting yourself now. You said you like it when they leave it up, and he's saying it's gibberish. Just make it up whatever you want it to be, which is what you said you wanted. But we always thought it was a murder.
He told you that it's not what you thought it was.
Well, sort of. He didn't say he didn't say what it was. He didn't confirm that it was a murder, which he had mentioned in this interview. He had heard other people saying as well. He didn't confirm he witnessed a murder. But he just explained how it came out. Could you imagine that too, being a songwriter and just off the cuff making a song like In the Air Tonight? Just you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. You know, musical writing minds are mind-boggling to me. They're like, they might as well be scientists as far as I'm concerned, as far as when they put the things together. You know, it's crazy, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I've thought about it. This is not comic book related, but it could be. It could be also because it's songwriting is like when bands do their first album or two, it just seems so good and raw because, and we kind of associate with them more because when they're doing that, they're just regular people. And then they, like, you look at the Stones and I even look at REM as my thing. And when they become millionaires, their life experiences change. They are not living on the same plane we are anymore. They're elevated. They're getting special treatment. They're getting first class private jets, this and that. So their experiences are different. So their writing style is different.
It shows in their music. Yeah, absolutely.
Music. So it's less organic, I imagine, or we don't associate with it as much, I think.
I was going to say it's less good.
Sometimes it is. Because it takes away the struggle.
Right.
You know? And
Fact.
Comic book artists and writers, I mean, are probably the same. They're what influenced their style is different because they get some celebrity, they get, you know, this and that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. All right. So on to my review then.
Did you review a Phil Collins Greatest Hits CD?
No. Right. But I did review something we already talked about. Mech Cadets.
Oh, man. That's almost cheating, but it's not. It's kind of like full circle there. I get it.
Yeah, let me guarantee 100% it's not even almost cheating. Well, I guess maybe you could say it's almost cheating, but it's not cheating at all, really, because, and this is why I asked the question about which came first, because first of all, this is Mech Cadets #1, written by Greg Pak, illustrated by Takeshi Miyazawa and Ian Herring. And And this is the foil cover too, which I actually got 2 copies of this to make sure I could have one to sell because I'm such a sucker for a good foil cover, which I thought this was awesome. And I like this art too. It's kind of raw, and I like Boom Studios. But yeah, it has the Netflix logo on it. So I asked that question because man, aside from there being mechs fighting kaiju, and the kids are in the academy too. Well, no, the kids aren't really even in the academy. This story is 100% different, 97% different than the Netflix show. They're like 2 totally different animals. It's like, first of all, the main girl you see on the one with the biggest head, I guess she's not standing in front, but the girl with the biggest head you see on the cover here, she's the one that was bitter at the cadet in the show for the janitor kid, for being, selected as a pilot, which that doesn't even happen in this comic book either. There's no, the mechs meld and select you. This becomes more like a Voltron. Well, I shouldn't say anything crazy about Voltron because I don't know Voltron that well either, but Voltron was just parts of and they all got their different mechs that were basically just vehicles they drove, right? That's how Voltron was, right?
Yeah, they're combiners.
Yeah, but there was no mind. It was just their vehicles, and then they attached and became one big vehicle, right?
Yeah.
So this is they just got robots they're riding, and these are just mechanized vehicles for them. They don't combine to make a big one. Although you see on the cover there too, you see there's 3 little mechs and then the big mech in the middle. That's not a perspective difference. That's the difference in this comic book too. The girl has this humongous, like 100-foot tall mech, and everybody else is Hulkbuster size. They're like just maybe a little bit bigger than Hulkbuster, but like, maybe 20-foot mechs, and she's got like 100-foot tall mech. So it's like I said, this book is so completely different than the show, which just it's kind of dumbfounding to me. It's like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Isn't that weird?
I think that oftentimes can happen. They just all these streaming services are looking for a property, and they take little bits and pieces and do with it what they will, I suppose.
Yeah. Because even the janitor kid, this book starts out right away. He's just a mech pilot. He's a janitor that was dreaming about being a pilot that, blah, blah, blah. That none of that exists here. This is a very simple story. Basically, we just are introduced to the mechs, and they fight these kaiju. I think they're called shargs, and they're kind of an alien kaiju, and they just kind of keep attacking. And they have this academy is in space. It's kind of like an international space station kind of thing. And basically, again, simple story in this book. The Sharg attack the space station, and they have to fight off the Sharg. And then one of them is taken by the Sharg, so they have to go rescue him. It's really, really simple. Again, I like the art. Which is kind of raw too. The writing's fine, the story's fine, it is an action-packed story, pretty much from cover to cover. Maybe the first few pages, an introduction and stuff. It doesn't really get into any drama too, and that's really the big focus of the show too. The show is about them learning and about the drama between the kids. That's like the focus of the show. It isn't the Shargs. Well, at least where I am in the show. Like I said, I've watched the first 3 episodes, so maybe the Shargs become more later. But the stories in this are polar opposite too, as far as that's concerned. This comic, it's all about kind of in your face fighting Shargs out the gate, and the show is more of a drama, kind of learning characters and kind of curve to get to the action. So it just struck me as just being completely different, aside from, again, like you said, the base parts of it that they have, and then doing what they want. It's totally different thing. So I feel like maybe this comic is actually directed more towards people like us, maybe an older audience that still enjoys comics, and the show is that way because of kids. So, but if you like mechs and kaiju, I think you're gonna like this. So I'm going to lean on undecided on this too, because I personally am kind of undecided too, whether I want to get more of these, and mostly because it's so simple. Like, you know what I mean? There's got to be a balance there. You got to have that, drama and story or whatever going on too, as well as your action. It just can't, especially with, to me, new characters and stuff like that, without any of that, it kind of feels empty, even when you just dive into the action. So, I'm kind of undecided on this as well, but I think if you're an adult mech and kaiju battling fan, you'd probably like this comic, and I'm at least probably going to check out number 2 and see where that goes, and I'm definitely going to continue watching the show because I'm enjoying that. So we're probably going to have a Kaijus comics and more Kaijus part 2 episode coming someday in the future. But that's my real simple review of Mech Cadets, having hardly anything to do with the show Mech Cadets I reviewed earlier. But you decide. I'm undecided. So
I have a theory on why they're different. So stay tuned for a wrap up, because that's when I'll address it.
Okay.
It's a little teaser to drag people along.
That's a new one. I don't think we've ever had a teaser for the wrap up.
Yeah.
I think that seems to be a little contradicting, but we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. Your teaser's working on me, Mike.
All right. Good.
All right. Moving right along. Patrick.
Yes.
Got some exclusives. Everybody's waited the entire show for this.
Yes.
No pressure. No pressure. I still got to work out that trivia challenge naming songs at the beginning of segments. Anyway, all right, Pat, go ahead.
I'm not good at trivia. I'll fail.
I know.
All of them. That was a tease.
All right.
Yeah,
I adjusted my glasses to look. Like, ooh, this looks interesting.
That was a mistake. We won't talk about it.
All
right. Just want to give a quick update on the HasLab Mos Eisley Cantina. We have about 10 days to go, I think. As of this morning, that we're trying to reach 8,000 orders, and we're at 6,254. So it'll do it. It'll make it. I'm betting it will. I don't know. I've got stretch goals.
Yeah, I've got something to say about this.
Say it.
So I'm interested to hear if you're tracking with what it seems like I'm tracking with this, Pat. A couple things. One, they probably should have never showed, how they have that, you showed that picture too on the last episode as well, with how they have it all laid out in the parts and stuff not built, Yeah. I feel like they shouldn't have shown this, because from what I'm seeing in a lot of comments and stuff is people, especially with this picture, citing that it doesn't look like it's worth it. You know how expensive it is for. I don't know whether this makes it look cheap or this makes it look like it's more work than fun or whatever the case may be. Are you tracking with that at all, Pat? They've gotten some. It seems like they've gotten pushback on this one more than other ones I've seen as far as the value of it, as far as the cost of the actual what they're trying to sell. Are you tracking with that at all, Pat?
Yeah, I can definitely see where people would have that opinion.
Just kind of looks. I don't mean to insult it, because I like it, but cheap. Comes in. It looks kind of feels like when you pick it up, it's going to be a bunch of plastic parts you got to put together. Like some cheap thing you'd buy on the Target shelf. You know what I'm saying?
They look like board game pieces.
Would you say, Pat?
I see where I can definitely see that vantage point. But you have to keep in mind, in one thing is this is sort of a different animal than something they've ever done before. This isn't a character. This isn't a vehicle. This is basically a play set where you have to do all the work. You have to set it up. You have to inhabit the cantina with all of your figures. So it's definitely aimed at a certain group of people, and I can definitely see where it might not be appealing to others,
especially others that have indulged the other HasLabs before, because
Yes.
it's been so different. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
right?
And then the second part of that is kind of on the same lines, but different. Is it seems like the people are complaining about the stretch goals. Like, to give this value, what's in the stretch goals should just be included with the base or whatever, right? Have you been seeing that or no?
I haven't seen much commentary like you're talking about, but I feel them there too, because that's an awful lot of orders to get just the 3 additional figures.
Yeah, right, exactly.
It's kind of I think that those stretch goals aren't that appealing.
Yeah. Karen's commenting, it's like buying a game and having to put all your pieces that you play with together before you play. Yes, Karen. That was a little bit of an inside joke between the Raymond family, Tyler, and even Maddie and Karen and Constance and me. We've had adventures recently with games, tabletop games that come like that, to where you got hours and hours of building before you can even enjoy the game, and it's been very frustrating for us. Actually, one of them, Star Wars Legion. I don't know whether you're familiar with that at all, Pat, but every time you pick up a new pack of those, you got hours of building, and then if you want it to look cool, painting as well before you can even play the game. And Maddie and Ty dove in and spent some big bucks on a couple, like the core set and like a couple expansions, and then got it home and opened it up, and they're like, what the heck? He's like talking about, like, General Grievous this big, and he's in like 100 pieces, like, no joke. It's crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, so continue, Pat. Sorry about all that.
No, it's I'm glad to hear some feedback about it, because I really haven't seen much. So it's interesting. It's definitely a certain target audience for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Get to some new news. This came out of a comic convention, or I think it maybe been a G.I. Joe convention panel where Fresh Monkey Fiction was set up. And that is, they announced the Wave 2 of the Longbox Heroes collection. During our hiatus, I actually finally received Wave 1. And they are some really cool figures.
Awesome.
Unfortunately, they're not collector friendly packaging, and I just do not want to open them because they look so good on the card. Not that I have a place to display them really either, but for now they're still carded, and I'm enjoying them that way. But this is Wave 2, a much smaller wave. We don't know if they didn't really have much to say about it other than announcing these 5 figures here. Arthur, 2 versions of Grendel, Christine Spar, and the Grendel Prime. Kevin Matchstick from Mage, lead character, which will have a glow-in-the-dark green bat, and another Madman equipped for safety Madman, sort of like a biker-looking Madman.
It's cool.
So much smaller, but there may be other figures on the way for Wave 2, or maybe they're focusing and not getting, putting as many out, just trying to stay more focused. I'm not sure. But I know I happened to look on the Big Bad Toy Store is the exclusive distributor for these figures, at least at the initial get-go. And I know a lot of them are sold out. So people wanted them. There's a few that are still hanging around, but I think they overproduced like the main characters. So I think they were successful to a degree, but I'm not sure because of the pared down lineup here. What's in the future for long box heroes, but I like them.
Yeah, they are cool. I just thought of a genius idea with you mentioning about opening it or not, and this is probably a genius idea that has been said a million times before by other people. But you know what? They should just make some kind of opening friendly, but still can close. Like obviously, you can tell it's open to where you're trying to resell. You wouldn't be able to lie and say it's never been opened or whatever, but something that's opening friendly that you could put it relatively back on cards, still looking like, at least similar to new, packaging. You know what I'm saying? Something that could pop open, you could figure out, you do whatever you want, and then you put it back in there and pop it closed. And that'd be a storing device for it too, technically, so that'd be awesome, right, Pat?
So awesome. They already do that, Kevin.
Oh, they do?
I was trying to find an example while you were talking, and I because the previous Mad Men figures were like that, but I put them in the box with the long box hero Mad Men, so I couldn't pull them out and show them to you. But basically, what they do is the blister, the plastic blister around the outside has a flap, and you just unbend that flap and the card slides right out, and you can put the card right back in. Well, actually, we'll kind of see sort of an example of that coming up in a bit here.
Okay.
Very similar. Yeah, but that's what's called collector friendly packaging.
Oh, okay. Nice. Okay. Is that what you were referencing at the beginning when you said it's not collector friendly and I just don't want to break them out? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Yep.
Irony. Sorry, that wasn't intentional, folks. I just have genius ideas 20 years too late. That's all. Okay.
Exactly. All right. Let's move on to McFarlane. And the first thing we have here is something we referenced in the pick 3, I believe. Jorge Jimenez. This is his Joker and Punchline 2-pack. This is actually the autograph series. Which was a Target exclusive and has since sold out, but you can buy the regular version. The exclusive, you get like an autographed card. McFarlane likes to do this, and they sell out within seconds. The signed version was $60. The regular version's $40 for the 2-pack. So I think the Punchline figure is really well done. Not a huge fan of the character. I really don't know anything about her. But I like this figure. There you can see the little autograph card that comes along with this version.
I think that's actually your grandpa's favorite villain. He's a big Punchline fan, if I'm not mistaken. He collects all Punchline, I think.
Okay.
Or I might be confusing him with Kratos. Somebody that was following us for a while just loved Punchline, which she's awesome. Yeah, I don't know too much about her too, but she looks cool as heck.
Yeah, I think it was Kratos.
Was Kratos? Okay. But yeah, those look awesome. Both of them. I like it a lot.
Another character, a version of a character I'm not familiar with, but I really like the look of this figure. That's Metallo. I've never seen this version of him before.
Yeah, me neither, but that looks like a pretty cool figure.
And then I think he was sort of I just saw him like a straggler of a wave or something. But these next 3 are definitely part of a wave. And this was announced a few weeks back, so you might have seen these, but we're kind of doing some catch up on McFarlane here. This is Manga Batman. Previously released, they released a version of him in the Superpowers lineup. This is the DC Multiverse line here.
I like that one.
The second is Superboy. This version of Superboy. His lips are a little too red for me.
Yeah.
And finally, in this mini wave, I guess you would say, is Sergeant Rock.
Oh, it's my favorite one. Look how awesome that is.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Oh, man.
I don't know if that face matches the art very well, though.
Yeah, it doesn't. That is so cool.
That is cool. Man.
The weird kind of, well, McFarlane's always doing these chase variants, short packed in the case. The weird thing about this wave is they all have a chase, and the Bat manga figure is a black and white version. Superboy is a Lex Luthor version. I'm not sure what all that's about. DC's kind of lost me, so I'm not sure what that storyline is from. And the Sergeant Rock.
So the only difference between the Superboy and the Superboy Lex Luthor version is the L in the middle of his chest.
Yeah, because it looks like you had a Lex Luthor head there.
Yep. You get the extra head in here, but here it's put on the figure. And you get the
gotcha. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So it's basically the same except for the L. That's weird.
Yeah. And the Sergeant Rock chase figure might take you back to your childhood, or at least Toy Story.
Oh, nice.
Green Army Man version.
That's pretty cool.
That is cool. Definitely takes me back to my childhood. That's for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that one though. I like the other one.
Can you go between the two again though? Yeah, I don't know. I really like the concept of that with the total green. Yeah, looking just like the little plastic guys. That's awesome.
Yeah, the on his Kevlar there, it's a little. The insignia's too large, but it's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah, they're both.
I would own that one.
Yeah. All right.
Moving to the 4-inch scale, we have Superpowers, and this is a wave that was announced, I think, about a week ago, maybe. We have Black Manta, always a cool looking figure.
Awesome. Definitely.
Guy Gardner. I should say I really like this wave. I like all 4 of these characters.
Very cool.
Metamorpho.
Nice.
And Booster Gold.
Awesome. Yeah, that is an awesome wave.
No Skeets with Booster Gold. That's kind of odd. I just noticed that. Usually, no matter what figure form he appears in, he usually gets a Skeets robot with him. And something else Superpowers, McFarlane has been doing with these Superpowers is it seems like they've been recently putting 2 weird variants in the wave. I don't know if they're chase or only for certain retailers, but if you remember, like they had the gold version of Superman and Batman a while back, everybody loved. This is a little better. It's a Fleischer Cartoons version of Superman, sort of that style. And a Dark Knight Returns version of Batman. So basically they're just repainting the figure. So it does and doesn't work because it's the Batman they've been using all along, which doesn't really look like the Dark Knight. All they're doing is slapping the big wide black bat chest emblem on it.
Yeah.
Calling it a variant. It's kind of lazy, but it is what it is for McFarlane. It's an easy way to pump out a variant chase figure, I guess.
Yep.
If people are all in, more money for the Todd father.
Yeah, how they go about mass producing all this stuff is beyond me. So I'm sure that has a lot to the decision making. Yeah, so it's.
All right, let's move on to some Hasbro. I really like this figure. I don't know if I'll get him, but he's really cool. Sorry, I was getting an Instagram thing on my screen. That is Odin. He's an oversized deluxe figure, $60 retail price point. There he is in the box. Front, there's the back of the box. They're starting to give. They've had this in the past. I think I may have commented on it, but they're giving artists credit for the artwork on the back. Here's Ryan Stegman's artwork on the back here, and they kind of show it in the background.
I see.
Oh, that's cool.
Pictures. So it's nice to see them giving the artists credit on the box.
Oh,
Yeah.
they always should do it every single time. Definitely.
Yeah. And there is out of the box with all the different. It's like 2 different headdresses, his ravens, and 2 sets of hands, and a sword and a spear.
Cool. That's very cool. Yeah.
And when you take into account he's a big, oversized 8-inch figure, he's pretty impressive. I think he looks really, really neat.
Yeah.
What did you say? 60?
Yeah, he's 60. He's a big boy.
That's a lot of-
Yeah, it is. You'll be able to find him on a discount. Just keep an eye out for him if you're really interested. I'm sure. This next wave is sort of a oddball wave, and saying that it's not going to be showing up at Walmart or Target anytime soon. It's going to be for your online retailers, and that's probably because of the content. And that's a Strange Tales wave. There you can see a quick lineup of everybody in the wave, and we'll go through them one at a time. First, we got Brother Voodoo, Jericho Drum.
Yeah, that looks good.
We have Damon Hellstrom, Son of Satan, aka Son of Satan, with his shirtless look. Again, these are figures that they were a little apprehensive to put, on Walmart shelves. That's why they went this route, the Strange Tales wave, I believe. I talked about him earlier. This is I guess the current Marvel incarnation of Dracula. I don't know. If I would have seen this just without any packaging, I might have thought he was Null, because I'm not familiar with either character.
Right.
That's kind of what he looked like.
Yep.
In fact, they may be reusing parts of Null. I don't know. I should have pulled them up beforehand. We have the vampire version, alternate reality of Storm, which is Bloodstorm. She seems to be a fairly popular character. She pops up. She was in the Exiles, and she seems to pop up from time to time. The most mainstream. Yeah, the most mainstream character of the wave, we have a new Moon Knight. If you're paying attention, you can sort of start to see the Build-A-Figure in the background.
Yeah.
We'll get to him at the end.
I like that Moon Knight.
Yeah, he's a pretty. I think that's sort of like Fist of Khonshu Moon Knight version. And then we have what they're calling the Weapon of Vengeance. AKA Elverine.
Elverine, yeah.
I'm not sure about that. Does that translate well?
Maybe a comic book.
Yes, it's that, Kevin, I don't know. You seem to be not a fan of the translucent air / flame / it always.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what it is. It always.
Yeah, whether it translates sometimes or not. Maybe better in hand, in person, when you get some light shining behind it, or
yeah, maybe it literally looks like he dipped his blades in honey. That's it's, and then it looks like it's like part of that flame that's supposed to be coming out of his. I mean, I can see it obviously because we know what it looks like in the comics, but yeah, just standing alone on its own, I'm not in on that. It looks he looks like, what's that guy's name from The Incredible? I keep saying that. It kind of has, and obviously he doesn't have the whole head of hair, but it's like looks like hair or something coming off. It's weird. I don't know. I don't like it.
I think it looks pretty cool.
All right.
I thought I saw a spoiler about who Helverine is in this, and I haven't really looked into the comics or anything, but this figure makes me question whether I heard the right information or whether this is different version. I don't know. Whatever.
I read the story. I can't remember.
Did it give away who he is?
I think it told who he was. I can't remember though. And now they're doing a miniseries, which I'm not picking that up.
Okay.
I thought it was Wolverine. I thought it was Logan that was possessed by the what do you call it?
Spirit of Vengeance.
Yeah, the Spirit of Vengeance. That's what I thought it was. I can't remember though. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. And last, probably the most uninteresting character, unless you're a big fan, is Lilith.
That one looks pretty cool. Her hair is weird.
Is her hair like a? It looks like one of those. They used to have the capes on the Star Wars action figures where it's just that thin piece of plastic. Looks like that's just kind of behind her. It is weird.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell from that shot.
Her head's weird too, though. But I don't know anything about her, so she just looks funky.
And if you
maybe that's how she's supposed to look. So yeah.
Yeah. If you pick up the whole wave, the Build-A-Figure, if you didn't figure it out, is Blackheart.
No, that's pretty cool, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's your Strange Tales wave. Like I said, pre-order online if you're looking for them because you won't see them when you go to Target or Walmart. So
interesting. Cool. Very cool.
Now we're gonna move on to the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. It's convention season, so all these hard to find exclusives that in recent years haven't been that hard to find because a lot of them have gone to allotting a portion of the run to online sales. So it's not as difficult as it once was, but it's still a pain in the butt for collectors.
Yeah.
If you want to track down these special versions of figures or special releases of figures. We'll sneak. What is today's? It's the 29th. So 29th of June. So we'll sneak in one. I think the only G.I. Joe item I've talked about this Yojo June. And that's actually going to come out next month at San Diego Comic-Con. And that is Cobra Commander from G.I. Joe the movie. Once a Man figure where he's devolving into a serpent. Every year they have a special G.I. Joe classified release. It gets a nice art box, deluxe type figure. That picture's a little blurry. I apologize for that. But it's a Velcro flap opening box with all this artwork. Here you can see the actual figure a little bit better. So you get the swappable heads, you can take the face plate off, or you can have just the total snake head, and actually you get the actual when he actually devolves completely into a snake there. And this exclusive, excuse me, is going to run you $40. So like almost double the price of a regular figure. Yeah.
That's interesting. If I was a Cobra Commander fan, I'd see how that could be cool. Mike, are you a Cobra Commander fan now since you read that comic?
I didn't read the comic.
Oh, I thought you did.
No? I was gonna. But I only got issue number 1. I think I may have gotten 2. Yeah. Yeah, I've never really followed the G.I. Joe stuff, and I thought with the new Energon thing, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna jump in and read Transformers, read G.I. Joe, and Void Rivals, and all that stuff. And yeah, sorry to say, I've bailed on all of it. Most recently, Void Rivals. So they didn't make the cut.
Interesting.
Next, we have a Marvel exclusive, and the packaging for this is spot on. I love it. And this is Death's Head.
Oh, man.
Oh, nice. It's like the card. Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah. Really, I really appreciate the packaging, mimicking the old trading cards here.
Yeah.
He's also $40. He doesn't get his deluxe treatment as the Cobra Commander. Doesn't get a full art box. I guess there's, it's a unique art box, but same price as Cobra Commander, coming in at $40. You get a couple little different hands and some accessories of an obscure character that probably, well, he's also, he appeals to Transformers fans and Marvel fans because I guess he was originally in the UK Transformers comic. I think that's where he originated, if I'm not mistaken. So he's got two fan bases probably looking out for him.
I've literally grabbed every Death's Head comic that's ever been out, but none of them were ever worthy of the read. I've never read one, but literally I had them all. Have them all still. I think I still have them all because I think it's so cool. From what I envision the concept being, it looks cool and the art's always awesome. So I always grab them. I have a hard time separating myself from them, but I've never read them. Have you read them, Pat?
If I did, they didn't make a memorable impression on me. Let's just say that.
Okay.
Now, I've seen him in guest starring roles in different things. He is a visually interesting character for sure.
Yeah.
Lastly, from Hasbro, as far as their convention exclusives go, we go to Star Wars Black, Darth Maul in his Sith speeder with Episode 1 packaging. This is coming in at $60 because he's a figure with a vehicle, so a little pricier. 25th anniversary of Episode 1 packaging. There he is out of the packaging. I think it looks a little better from that view.
Man, I have always hated this speeder. It's been like ever since being like, that is so dumb. I've always not had a taste for this speeder at all, man.
Yeah. You know why?
Why?
I'll tell you why.
Why?
That's why I don't like it. It looks like he's riding a chicken.
Looks like he's riding a chicken. Yeah. It's kind of like got a chicken body. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which it always, and I think it's doubly frustrating for me because I think Darth Maul is obviously, arguably, as far as cool is concerned, one of the coolest characters in all of Star Wars, and then he gets the lamest speeder.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. Look how he's all in black, and he's got this, and then he's got this light-colored
chicken mobile.
He is. That's a foghorn leghorn speeder.
Blame it on the Trade Federation. Looks like one of their droids almost. Like the same factory designed the speeders that designed the battle droids. I agree. Yeah. Slap him on a traditional like Endor speeder, and he would look 100 times cooler. Right?
Yeah, Oh yeah, if they had one of those just with a couple tweaks and changes and a little cool paint job, yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
There you go. Anyway. There's a cool custom idea for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Get that painted up. Okay. I mistakenly showed this first thing off the bat. This is Hot Wheels exclusive for San Diego Comic-Con. I don't know if any of you are familiar with their Racerverse figures. I've kind of browsed through the aisles and I kind of like them.
Yeah, me too. I'm the same. Yeah.
But here is a 40th anniversary Secret Wars battle racer. What do we call them? I said the name Racerverse. And this is what I was talking about, a form of collector friendly packaging, because that's what this is here. And it's actually even more than that, because what this does is you're seeing it here in the folded out look here, because that card, you picture it is one long card that folds in half and can fit inside the plastic packaging there, but you can also pull it out and fold it out so you can see like the revamped homage Secret Wars cover and display.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah.
That's so what we're getting here is a $20 exclusive.
Oh, jeez.
Well, you have to pay for that collector friendly packaging. It ain't cheap.
Yeah. Well, you said exclusive, so this one's 20. Are the base ones cheaper?
Are the non-exclusives cheaper?
Okay.
Yeah.
And, this is San Diego exclusive, right? Okay.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yep. And here's the real kicker, and the real this just this is the example of frustrating collectors with exclusives, because these come in a box, so you can't see what's on inside, because 1 in 10 is a Wolverine.
What?
So the what you're typically you're going to get Spider-Man, but you have a 1 in 10 chance that you may get a Wolverine, because
You
they're
spend 20
blind
bucks,
box.
you get it, and it's like probably a Spider-Man, but it might be the Wolverine. So if you want the Spider-Man, you might get a Wolverine. You'll be disappointed.
Yep.
But since it's more limited, you might not be that disappointed. Those jerks.
Or you just keep plugging down your 20 bucks trying to get that Wolverine, and you keep Spider-Man after Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man after Spider-Man. They're such jerks. They're just like sitting around like Dr. Evil trying to think of ways.
That is odd. I'm trying to. So this is sold as this is Spider-Man, but you could get Wolverine. So is it like, obviously there's Chase, all the other Chase things we have obviously grabbed, but when you open it, you have no idea what you're getting. It could be, a whole range of like 30 different figures, but this is just a possibility of 2, with the probability being extremely high that it's the one you want. But yeah, that's weird, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take one of those Spider-Man buggies. Here you go. Oh, it's Wolverine.
Or you're like, oh, it's Wolverine.
Yeah.
No, I just have to buy a Spider-Man.
3 times the amount and buy a Spider-Man.
Yes. Yeah.
In other news, I want that Wolverine though. That's cool.
Yeah. You're like, oh, Spider-Man.
Well, here's the thing too. Here's what it all comes down to. 6 months from now, they can do a regular release at retail without the Secret Wars packaging of the Wolverine figure. Or he could be the yellow and blue costume, not the tan and brown, tan and black, whatever. So, they're not going to waste the sculpting here. Let's just put it that way. He'll be out some other way. I'm almost 100% sure.
Yeah.
You know what? I just had another genius idea. I fancy myself
Let me check if it's already been done.
Right. I fancy myself, as Mike does on occasion as well, a game creator. So I invented a tabletop game using the Mario Kart Hot Wheel. They're like this with the big body Mario Kart characters on the carts, and but there's getting ready to be a Marvel version of that, because that's what I want these for now. Mario Kart Marvel, that's such a great combo, right, Mike?
Yeah, it is.
And I've already got the game invented. All I have to do is you can pick Wolverine instead of Luigi. I just got to grab all these now. Great.
Is that the same? You did that racing game where we had pit stops and
it's basically the same as that, but that was a serious one with Hot Wheels and nice cars. I made a Mario Kart version of the same game. Yeah. So.
I still have to get back to painting all the tires and
right. Anyway, sorry we interrupted again. Pat, go ahead.
That's right. One thing I didn't mention here was that they do come with a little lenticular shield, just like the old Secret Wars figures, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's arguably the coolest part, actually.
It is arguably. I'll argue that.
All right, no more arguing. We're going to move on to Mezco and their San Diego Comic-Con. These two aren't arguing; they're good buddies. This is Godzilla and Jet Jaguar, previously mentioned in today's episode. And we have a special handshaking 2-pack from Super 7's Reaction line.
That looks cool.
That is cool. That is so funny too. How I confuse that in my brain too. That's so weird.
When you see them so close together, we just, it's like, oh yeah, I can see the differences. But yeah, you were so dead set. You're like, no, I remember when I was a kid.
Ultraman and Godzilla. Yeah.
There they are. Another out of the box packaging, looking for shaking hands.
That's so funny. I want to see the back of Godzilla though. You got that?
Sorry, limited pictures. And unfortunately, I don't have price. I don't think Super 7 released the pricing for any of these exclusives. So get ready to pay probably $10 over the normal cost of a reaction figure. So these would be $20 each, 40, so $50, $60 probably for this 2-pack. Who knows? Maybe they'll surprise us.
That's a great Godzilla too. That's the old costume guy got the dressed up like Godzilla guy. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that action figure looks like there's a person in it.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
That'd be cool if you can take his head off and there's some little actor.
Right.
Dang, that's a
Well,
great idea.
Yeah.
Don't eat it well.
Yeah, Mike, sorry. It's already been done. They had this. Okay. Do you guys remember we'll get on a little side path really quickly here. You remember the Micronauts figures?
Yeah.
The 70s, 80s. Yeah, those were big in Japan. They had a longer lifespan in Japan. And they brought them back probably 20 years ago. And they did Godzilla figures where they had like a rubbery exoskeleton that you could put the Micro Man. He's called Micro Man in Japan. That you could put the Micro Man inside the Godzilla costume.
That's awesome. Do you have that, Pat?
Do I have the Godzilla? I don't think I do. I might.
I'd love to see that. If you can follow up in the future with pictures of that, that'd be cool. I'd love to see that.
Yeah. Okay. More the rest we're finishing out with Super 7 here, I believe. More San Diego Comic-Con. This is they like to do glow in the dark exclusives. So here we got glow in the dark Anguirus and Baragon. These are individuals. I'm just showing them together here. You buy them separately. There they are out of the package, sort of glowing away there.
Those are awesome. Yeah.
They Super 7 is they're wringing every penny out of this Godzilla license. They love to recolor and release all these figures. So another example is Smog Monster Hedorah. They're calling this the Hawaii variant, sort of. So just so you know, Hawaii used to get a lot of the Japanese vinyl, a lot of imports from Japan, and they had a lot of the same stuff or did their own variations in the 70s, early 80s, and the vinyl figures are a big deal there. And this is, I guess they're calling this the Hawaii version of Hedorah because he was probably released in this color scheme in Hawaii way back when. So they're sort of doing a tribute to it. There he is out of the package. All right. This next one, again, another variant. They also like to do twists, like we've had the Shogun Warrior styled reaction figure. Now we have the vintage Aurora model kit version.
Hey, I'm sorry, Pat. Can I interrupt you real quick? I'm sorry. I was muted. Yeah. I was saying something. I was muted when I was saying it, so you didn't hear me. But can you go back to that guy? Take the out of the package one. That looks so awesome. I love that thing. I want that thing, and I don't know if I've ever. So he was in the Godzilla movies.
Yeah, it's the Smog Monster. His
I don't remember him at all.
Is he
squishy?
Awesome,
Mike?
Is he squishy?
This version will not be squishy.
Oh, okay. He looks like he should.
Because he's a reaction. He's a hard plastic reaction figure, but that's what they're basing him on, the vinyl figure, which probably was a little squishy.
He's cool. Okay. Anyway.
This if you don't, Godzilla versus the Smog Monster was really like trippy 70s. That's how you can easily identify that movie. It had a lot of weird 70s, 60s psychedelic type elements to it, and it was all about the environment, and it was
bunch of hippies.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about that. Okay.
Godzilla got Smog Monster gunk in his eye and was blinded. And,
I so want to watch that now. I'm going to see if I can find that today.
So we have based on the sort of the Aurora model kit look of Godzilla. as a reaction figure. He comes with a little bit more there. He gets like a little bit of base because the model kit came with the base.
Nice.
And then lastly, for the San Diego exclusives from Super 7, we have another version. And like I said, they like to get their money's worth. This is the Ultimates, which is the larger scale figures, more articulation and so forth. This is a red, they're calling it vintage red Shogun Godzilla. So I think this is either the third or fourth version of this Ultimate Shogun Godzilla they've released. I mean,
it's awesome. It's very cool.
Yeah.
He just looks funny.
Gotta love that tongue flame throwing function too. Nice.
Back at the other one in the package there, it looks like he has like a piece of wood stuck through his head.
Gotta hide that in the picture.
Yeah, I think one of the first things my mind saw was looks like he's in like an aging Godzilla, and he's got like the gray chest hair coming in.
Oh yeah.
These last two are exclusives, but they're not San Diego exclusives. But I figured I'd tack them on because they're Godzilla reaction figures. These are Target exclusives, and they're mainly for the packaging. Again, more Super 7 repaints. This is the Pinball Godzilla variant, Stern Pinball Godzilla variant.
You're right. Yeah, that packaging is awesome.
That's just a card. That's just a card painted like a pinball machine.
Yes.
Wow.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
Like
That's the other thing Super 7 is kind of known for is their packaging, and they go all out on the card art. And no, this is awesome. I love both of these. There's Godzilla out of the package. He's much more impressive in the package, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
And you also get Mecha Godzilla.
Nice.
In the pinball packaging. And there he is out.
Yeah,
I don't know what they're doing there. I don't know if that's lighting effects, because when he's in the package, you don't see that. But this could be a computer generated image. Who knows? But, this picture, I don't know if that's lighting or actually painted that way. Looks painted.
Yeah, that looks like lighting. Great. I buy the picture and I have to buy a green light bulb.
He's cool though, that's for sure.
Yep.
But that's it. Just wanted to tack on some Target there. A lot of San Diego stuff coming up, and we're still doing a little bit of catch up, but that's it for the Horizon this week.
Yeah, strong finish. I love those Target exclusives.
Awesome. Yeah, I need to tag that in the show title. San Diego Comic-Con. I'm so out of it right now. I didn't even realize it was that time. But yeah, obviously it's that time.
Last weekend of July.
So I wanted to show you guys this real quick. Let me make myself big, because a couple reasons I want to show you this. One, because it's cool. I'm just tagging on to the collectibles here because I grabbed one of these. But have you seen these?
No.
This is packaging.
Batman figures inside.
Yeah, and this is the packaging, Mike.
Yeah, so I have not seen those yet. They did a Scooby-Doo line that I've seen at Walmart, but I've never seen the Batman, except they have like a 20-pack in this weird sort of vinyl case, but I know they're the same figures that come inside the Batmobile.
Well, isn't that cool packaging though, Mike?
Yeah, open it.
I'll show you what's inside, but then that's the other reason I'm mentioning it now. So this is what's inside. Killer Croc.
Killer Croc and
Robin. Right?
Uh-huh.
What are these? Pat? Where do we see these before? They're identical to where we saw them before.
Well, they're very similar to the Wendy's figures.
What?
But they're not the same.
Yeah.
They're not the same?
Those were DC, weren't they? Were the Wendy's DC?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is DC.
Oh,
Batman's DC.
Batman's DC.
Like,
I know.
Yeah,
that.
Batman's DC, Mike.
I know that. I know that. I'm going to show myself out. See you guys next week.
Man, man, I didn't have the exact same character to compare it to, but I put them up to the ones I had, and they're like same size. Obviously, they're one flat color, and it's, I was just like, man, they just took but if you're saying they're different, obviously I'll take your word for it, Pat. But I was like, man, they just took the Wendy's thing and just put it in a cool package and then resold it.
Yeah, it's really funny that you bring this up because I've been watching the 20-pack. It's on clearance at our Walmart, and it's been slowly dropping. And the thing about the 20-pack is they're all red, translucent, and I don't really like them.
Yeah.
But it's a good way to get all 20 of them because that's all there is. There's 20 of them. It's a good way to get them all at once. And I looked at them just yesterday, and Valor said, "Aren't those the ones we got from Wendy's?"
Oh,
so there you go.
Valor's tracking with me. Yeah, right. All right. Yeah, that's awesome, though. Yeah, I mean, thank God for you, or I wouldn't be tracking that there's San Diego Comic-Con exclusives exist. Right, Mike? You with me on that?
What was that?
I said if it wasn't for Pat, I wouldn't be tracking that these exclusives are getting ready to come out and that San Diego Comic-Con exists right now because I'm kind of out of it,
Yeah.
And
Go
another
ahead, Pat.
another note that the Scooby-Doo's come in a mystery machine, just like the Batmobile and the Batman figure,
which is cool in itself. That's why,
yeah,
that's so cool.
Yeah.
And one of the things about them too is the packaging is sort of semi-translucent, so you can kind of see who you're getting if you really want to pick through and see who's there. It's hard, but it's not impossible. So
yeah, if you really got into wanting to make sure you got the right ones, you could probably tell. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Thank you, Pat. That was awesome. All right, we got a recap tease, so let's jump right in. So I'm going to start right off because I wrote this down because I was taking notes during the show this time. Not really. I just conveniently had a piece of paper and pen. I'm just going to say Kaijus are awesome. And there's a lot of Kaiju content out there. So check it out. Mech Cadets and Ultraman Rising. And get your Kaiju exclusives from San Diego Comic-Con. So.
I forgot to really come out and ask, so this is going to be part of the recap. But is the animation for Mech Cadets better in the comic book than it is on the Netflix show?
You mean just the art? Because my comic book doesn't move.
Well, I figured it might be better than because you dislike the animation so much in the Netflix.
Yeah,
show.
actually, okay, yeah. The answer to that is yes, in my opinion, yes.
All right,
Mike.
All right. The Mech Cadets Boom comic is in a different dark matter door than the Netflix show.
Nice connection there.
Yeah.
Karen, you got anything? Karen says, "Are all werewolves rabid?" According to Kevin, yes. Facts. Facts. Next up on the same line, don't assume, regardless of whether a comic came out or a show came out first, that they'll have anything to do with each other aside from the originating visuals. Once again, see Mech Cadets.
Got a lot of Mech Cadets.
Yeah, really. I didn't really have much today. I just always remember that, Mike is rabid for foxes. That's always a thing.
See a Mike see a fox tattoo on Mike in the future, maybe.
That was my next thing. Rabid fox tattoos are cool.
Rabid fox tattoos are cool. Nice.
I'm gonna have.
Yep. Karen. Pat voted for a Batman sitting on a gargoyle. Believe it or not.
Don't believe it because I didn't.
He didn't vote for it, Karen.
Not this week.
He was being sarcastic. That's my fault, Karen. I confused you.
Karen, she may be referring to the past.
She's a good historian.
Oh, that's true. Karen is our resident historian. Yeah.
She takes notes.
You got anything else, Mike?
Oh, yeah. Rabid werewolves are scary.
Rabid werewolves are scary.
Canine thing.
So are half-naked Conans.
Yeah, that's true.
Which leads me right into the next one I was going to say is you can always count on Karen for a Conan vote in the pick 3. Absolutely. I need closure. Kevin needs closure. That's what Karen says, and she's absolutely right. I need closure. Mike?
That's it for me.
I guess my last one would be it seems like Phil Collins in the air tonight by saying that it wasn't. I thought it was. See, he wasn't supposed to. He was just supposed to say it's whatever people think it is. Don't confirm.
That was what was going to be on to my final one as well. That Mike is apparently the guy that if you go and ever visit him as a fan, will not give you any info to think anything other than what you want to think. I am the guy that will tell you what to think so you don't have to wonder. And Pat's swimming right in the middle of both of us.
As always.
Well, yeah, that's if it's intended to be obscure and open-ended like that. If it's not, I'll tell you.
You always got your caveats. I know, Mike. Yeah.
That's
but in the air tonight is apparently not intended to be about him witnessing a murder. That'll close out the wrap up.
Maybe Phil Collins just worried about the statute of limitations or something.
Oh, that's true.
All right, cool. Okay, closing out here. Please like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell to get notified of everything we post. Oh, and Mike, I meant to tell you during the show, I actually got the pop-up notification that someone subscribed during the show. So we actually got a new subscriber during the show. And you were in the middle of something, so I didn't want to interrupt you. And then as soon as I was going to interrupt, it went away. So I couldn't remember. It's something comics.
Cool.
You know how we were talking. Oh, Cheap Comic Collector subscribed today. Thank you, Cheap Comic Collector. We really appreciate it. Yeah, I was able to pull that up still. That I got it. So
we collect. Is that so? Do they collect cheap comics, or are they just cheap? Because I'm cheap when it comes to action figures. I'm cheap. I'm not going to buy a lot of expensive action figures. I like cheap comics.
So you're asking, do they collect comics, but only if they're cheap, or do they intentionally just collect cheap comics? Which that's kind of like no. I'm going to use my sister as a reference here. Karen always buys me cheap comics, the ones that you get in the Dollar Tree in a 3-pack for $1 that you never heard of. She always gets me those. So those are cheap comics. So does he collect just those, or does he collect all comics that he can find that are cheap?
They're cheap. Right?
Let us know, Cheap Comic Collector. We're really interested. Anyway, please subscribe, like Cheap Comic Collector already did, to Comics and Collectors, or Comics and Collectors, Comics and Collectibles in the Crawl Space on Spotify for podcasters. We'll get it worked out to where we get new podcasts up there. I promise. Even if I have to go to another platform, I'll get this live stream in podcast form up somewhere. But you can still listen to edited podcasts of all of our other live streams prior to this one and last show. They're all still up on Spotify for podcasters. You can still check all those out. Then follow Xcellar Comics on Facebook, Instagram, and/or X, aka Twitter, and follow Xcellar_Comics on TikTok and whatnot. We've been kind of lacking ever since we've been back, getting stuff posted on there too, but we'll get back to it. You know, there's still a lot of stuff to check out there. Good stuff. And then you can watch our shows on the Whatnot app sometime. I don't have any other shows posted right now, but I did make a commitment last show that I will have a Whatnot show again before. When did I say, Mike?
I wasn't paying attention.
You had a super comment about it, man.
I don't remember.
You remember what Cover Combat 10 is going to be? What edition?
Yeah, blue chip.
Nice. Okay. You finally got that nailed. Anyway.
That's your test on my memory.
No, before my birthday. Remember you said I should keep my birthday a secret so no one
Oh.
But anyway, my birthday is July 11th, so I will have a Whatnot show prior to July 11th. And it'll be awesome too, because I got a lot of stuff that's just been building up. And then check out what we have to offer on eBay at Xcellar_Comics. And as always, you can help support the show and everything we do and plan to do through Patreon at patreon.com/XcellarComics. And then you can watch Cover Combat 9. That's incorrect. It's going to be round 1B, which will show the winners from round 1A and the matchups for round B. But it'll technically be round 1A show or round 1B show, right?
Yes.
Okay. But you can watch that Monday, this coming Monday, July 1st at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that will be a live show. I'm excited for that. That's the next show and the show after that are our longest Cover Combat shows, so you really feel fulfilled, right, Pat? You really get enough, right? Yeah. And then lastly, you can watch our next live stream on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram. I think Karen's changed something. Oh. Saturday, July 13th at 8:30 a.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time. We're still in skipping a week mode, which ironically enough, then I'll mention the next thing. We will not be skipping a week after that, because after that we'll have to skip 2 weeks. So we're going to make sure we have a show on the 20th as well. So we'll have 2 consecutive shows for the next 2 shows you will see. So we're skipping next week. Then we got July 13th, then a July 20th show. Then we won't have 2 shows after that. So
from what I understand, Karen is working on a calendar. It will be up on the Facebook page. That'll sort everything out. I'm looking forward to it because I will forget.
I totally agree with that. I think that's an idea Karen proposed to us at the beginning of before we started the show today, and it's a great idea. We have recently dropped off the website, so Karen's calendar went away there. So Karen will put up Karen's calendar on the Facebook page for everyone to be able to track there, because if we're not anything, we are confusing. Just make sure you subscribe to get notifications when everything happens.
There you go.
Right, Pat?
That's right.
This has been fun, though. I think the every other week thing works out good as far as pressure. I wasn't feeling a lot of pressure. I feel like there was plenty of time to take care of all the other things you need to take care of and then get ready for a show. And this felt good. This was a lot of fun. Right, Mike?
Yeah. This just feels like the Return of the King right now. The ending.
The exclusive cut?
No, this is the ending. It's
just the regular one? Okay. All right. All right, cool. Okay. I thought I was having fun, if you can tell. Maybe it's not entertaining, though. Good point, though, Mike. I'll take that as my hook to get off. Anything else, Pat?
No, nothing for me.
All right, cool. Until next time, Mike, don't forget, appreciating great art is awesome. But Pat, reading a great story is also fun. Right? So why not pick up a comic book and do both? Xcellar out.